are you?
Thank you very much. Thank you for
Thank you
this
very much.
interview.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you. Are we going to use a microphone?
I'll have it.
Okay, so,
For you,
I've got the lamp. Okay, sounds good. Please have a seat. How are you? Sure. Let's do it this way. I've become an expert at these things. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
You know, I've attended almost all the rallies that you have this year during the campaign.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So
The
it's always a little difficult to interview someone you admire so strongly.
well, you're very kind. Yeah, I'm a big admirer of Pakistan. You know, have been very close to a lot of Pakistanis for a long time.
I've
so.
been, you visited that
Yes.
country like twice. Huh?
Yes. So, when I was in college,
And that was twice, right?
just once.
Just
Just
once.
once. Yeah. But I was there for at least 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
traveling, yeah.
And mostly in Karachi? Or?
Yeah, we went out to Hyderabad, and we were supposed to go up into the mountains, but the weather wasn't
You
good.
should have. That's
Yeah,
really
that's
beautiful.
Yeah.
So, Mr. President, shall we start with something
Please.
that happened this morning? There's a statement by the Iranian Supreme Leader saying that the United States is intervening, was an intervention in their domestic affair, and that the elections were fair and free, and there was no need for this protest from the United States.
Well, first of all, I think that what's been happening in Iran is remarkable. To see hundreds of thousands of people in peaceful protest against an election that was obviously raised a lot of doubts tells us that this is an issue that the Iranian people care deeply about. I think the United States and the West have been very clear that this is not an issue between the West and Iran. This is an issue about the Iranian people seeking justice, that they want to make sure that their voices are heard. And you know, it's unfortunate that there are some inside Iran and inside that government that want to use the West and the United States as an excuse. But I've been very clear. We respect Iran's sovereignty, but we also are witnessing peaceful demonstrations, people expressing themselves, and I stand for that universal principle that people should have a voice in their own lives and their own destiny. And I hope that the international community recognizes that we need to stand behind peaceful protests and be opposed to violence or repression.
Do you believe the elections were unfair?
Well, you know, we didn't have international observers there, but beyond the election, what's clear is that the Iranian people are wanting to express themselves, and it is critical as they seek justice and they seek an opportunity to express themselves that that's respected and not met with violence.
Now go back to your speech in Cairo. That indeed was a speech that created a lot of stir, both here and in the Muslim world. Was it the beginning of something bigger to come, or is it just one-off thing?
No, I think that this is going to be a sustained process. You know, as I said in Cairo, one speech is not going to transform policies and relationships throughout the Middle East or throughout the world. But what I wanted to do was to describe very clearly that the United States not only respects Muslim communities around the world, but that there's an opportunity for, I think, a new day where there's mutual understanding, mutual tolerance, where the United States is seen as somebody who stands with people in their daily aspirations for an education for their children, for good jobs, for economic development. And you know, just as the United States at times has, I think, not fully understood what's happening in Muslim communities, sometimes there have been countries that haven't understood the rich history of Muslims in America. As I mentioned in that speech, it was Morocco that was the first nation to recognize the United States. We have Muslim Americans who are doing extraordinary things. In fact, they're educational attainment and income is generally above the average here in the United States. We have Muslim members of Congress, and in fact, we have 5 million Muslims, which would make us larger than many other countries that consider themselves Muslim countries. Yes. So what we want to do is just begin to open up a dialogue around which we can constructively work together to deal with significant issues. One of those issues is the issue of the Middle East, and I've been very aggressive in saying that Israelis and Palestinians have to resolve their differences and create two states that can live side by side in peace and security. And I've put forward a special envoy, George Mitchell, a former majority leader of the United States Senate, to work with the parties involved. But part of the key is also to isolate the extremists who have been wreaking havoc around the world. And we're seeing that now in Pakistan. And I think the Pakistani government and the people of Pakistan recognize that the kind of mindless violence that we've been seeing, that cannot be the answer to long-term prosperity.
Well, talking about Pakistan, some people say that it is still too early to push Pakistan into a military operation or offensive in South Waziristan, that the Pakistan army and the Pakistani state is not strong enough to win that, and that it may break up the country.
Well, let me make 2 points. Number one, nobody can or should push the Pakistani government. The Pakistani government is accountable to the people of Pakistan. I think the Pakistani government and the people of Pakistan recognize that when you have extremists who are assassinating moderate clerics like Dr. Naimi, when you have explosions that are killing innocent women and children, that can't be the path for development and prosperity for Pakistan. And so there's been a decision that's made that we support, that the Pakistani military and the Pakistani government will not stand by idly as extremists attempt to disrupt the country. But ultimately, these are decisions to be made by the Pakistani government and the Pakistani people. What the United States believes is that we are a partner in the process of peace-loving nations seeking to root out extremism, increase development, and that is the kind of role that we want to play with Pakistan.
Fair enough, but do you think the Pakistani state is strong enough to win this war?
Well, I think that I have confidence in the Pakistani people and the Pakistani state in resolving differences through a democratic process and to isolate extremists. Dating back to Jinnah, Pakistan has always had a history of overcoming difficulties. There's no reason why it can't overcome those difficulties today.